o'clock. That's so like when we pulling
And
up.
we're
I will.
live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to
I,
It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and we got pound for pound. She's gonna kick somebody's behind. It's Kwyn Townsend Riley. Hello, Kwyn.
Hi, everybody. How are
Wow,
you?
3:15 can't come soon enough
I
for some of us. Hey,
know.
Myra J, how are
Hello,
you?
hello. I'm all about peace and love down here in the dirty South. I don't know what else is going on in the world.
Wow. And Stephen Hill, hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I have COVID, so there's that.
No, you don't.
100%. Yeah. But
Oh,
look,
really?
let's be clear. If we're gonna be honest, who deserves COVID more than I do? Right?
True.
True. Like, let's
I
be
would
honest.
never say you deserve COVID.
True.
I've been traveling. I've been
Traveling.
out. I've been
Yeah.
free balling the world.
Oh, I thought you
Like,
were gonna
Excuse
say
me.
you eat
You've
Papa, though.
been doing what with the world?
I just want to make sure y'all heard that. Listen, the point is, I deserve COVID. I'm getting COVID. I got my 2 shots in my booster, so it's really nice and mild.
So is this a real breakthrough case, as they call those that have
No, it's real.
gone through all of this?
Yeah, it's not a joke. It's not a joke.
And is it Omicron?
I don't know. I haven't gone to find that out. I've done 2 at-home tests, and to match my usual pink shirts and my pink phone case, I had the little pink line right across, right underneath the blue.
So you
one.
were either pregnant or you got COVID.
Well, yeah. I'm thinking we can rule one of those out.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll be delivering a baby next. So yes.
Next October, no doubt. Yes.
Yes.
So Steve, how did you know?
How'd you know? Oh, I got a little. It's so fun. I was Shantae and I actually we're actually
Okay, 5 minutes.
No, but it wasn't even 5 minutes. It wasn't even 5 minutes. It was like a
It
minute
was
and a half.
two. It was two.
The point is, the truth is, because it works in the story, is that as soon as we separated, I felt a scratch in my throat. Not before, after. So I was like, all right, let me check this out right now. And I checked it, and sure enough, it was COVID. And I checked again, it was COVID. Called her obviously immediately, but she is negative. She's negative. So
Good.
it's all good.
So she's not negative. She is.
She is without COVID. She's without COVID. Yeah, how'd you give that to me? Oh, I'm
Right.
Now I feel bad for you.
So how far along in this are you?
Yeah.
Couple days. And again, with a booster, it really is. It's like a cold. It's no worse than a cold. I'm not advocating people get COVID, but like this is the reason to get 2 shots in a booster, so that when you inevitably get COVID, it does this to you. Like you can still function and operate. So
Are you gonna do the full 10 days or?
Yeah, are you going to do the 5 that they're now recommending?
Well, yes, I'm absolutely going to do 5, which means I was going to move and go to New York, but I won't be doing that. So yeah, 5 days. 5 days in a lovely place that has plenty of fruit juice.
Oh.
I did have to get off my cleanse, by the way. I was on a cleanse last week, remember, during the show, and I had to get off of that because I'm like, well, my antibodies need help.
And your uncle bodies do too. So
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Well, get well wishes. And you don't sound congested or nasally or anything like that.
But I'm ready for the Barry White imitation contest, though. It takes the voice down like another octave.
It's hard to tell when your voice goes down another octave, quite frankly.
Right on.
So, do you know where you got it?
It could have been Mexico.
Everybody says that. I went to my godson's birthday party, and all the little snotty kids, came around who were, whatever.
I got no idea where I got this. It really could have been anywhere, because this is the cost of going out and living your life amongst COVID.
Yeah, as you said, free balling. Myra, how are you? Are you feeling a little COVID-y?
No, not at all. Look, don't even speak it. Nope. Knock on wood. To my knowledge, have not had it. No symptoms. No scratchy throat. No sneezy. No coughy. None of that.
No.
None of that. But I live a very alone life.
I was gonna say sheltered. You're sheltering in place.
Sheltered is a good word. Yeah. A very, very sheltered life.
But you look. Can I just tell you, people who are listening, you look fabulous.
You really do.
You look like you're ready to go out and just paint the town chartreuse.
Let me tell you one dang thing. I'm looking at these freaking numbers every day. just waiting because I'm like, literally, Mama needs some beach, some sun. I'm about to go somewhere. So Stephen Hill, I need for you to spray wherever you go. Just spray Lysol behind you. Clean all that up. Clean
I
all
got
that
you.
up.
I got you, no doubt.
So let's talk about what's going on in the world. And for those of you who just woke up today, a lot of news about a couple of different things. But the most recent big conversation is about the presumed retirement of Supreme Court Justice and a general all around nice guy, according to all reports, Stephen Breyer. He is not officially determined that or announced that he is retiring. He apparently spoke to the president last week, said there will be a letter forthcoming. They broke the story on NBC News today, and now the conversation is about that black woman that that Joe Biden has promised to nominate for the position. And so there's a growing list of possible nominees. But as I said, the seat is not, it's definitely not cold because he's still in it. He's still, going to work and being a part of it. And if he does retire anytime soon, the question is, will it be at the end of this term or will it be as soon as a nominee can be confirmed? Which could be a little dicey in today's political climate in the United States Senate.
Well, I'm
So-
sure all eyes are going to be on the two special Democrats because we have Madam Vice President. We have the MVP. That's all we need. So it's like, come on. I'm like, Judge Ketanji, come on.
Are we still expecting Biden to do anything?
Yes.
Black people?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Oh,
We're
okay.
expecting this.
we are.
Oh, we're expecting
Yes,
this.
we
Oh, we're
are.
expecting
yes.
Yes,
I'm
we
just
are.
still
yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for my loans.
Here's the thing.
Okay,
Here's
well, we all have our things. Yours
Yes.
is his promise or at least the consideration of, erasing
Canceling
the student debt.
debt. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so if he does that,
That's
then
what he
he's
said
your
he was
dude.
going to do. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Nope.
There's a lot of other things that those of us that that had to pay off our loans.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So Myra, you are pushing for Ketanji, Judge Ketanji.
What was because she's kind of been, shall I say, pre-screened, pre-cleared. They
Most
kind of
recently.
yes, so that we don't have to go through this long, drawn-out process. Because I say let's push this through ASAP. We
Okay,
need
so
a
let's
win.
talk about some of the possibilities because she obviously is at the top of the list, as you said, Myra. She gonna have.
You're gonna have a vowel at
vowel.
the end of her name: Leandra, Katanji, Wilhelmina, Anita, Eunice, Candace, J. Michelle, Kamala. Ooh.
Yeah, that's one of the
Ooh.
considerations too. Although a lot of people are
They
offended
all
by
got
the
vowels.
a lot of people
Keisha,
are
where's Judge
offended
Keisha?
by the fact that that Vice President Harris is being mentioned as a Supreme Court nominee because they say that is an affront to what she was brought to the party for, and that's to be vice president. And if our astrologist last week is to be believed, she might be needed in the White House.
Oh,
Okay.
my God.
Okay.
Yeah. Miss Astrology said that Joe Biden may not live out his term.
No. Okay.
I've said
And-
this on the show for last year. Kamala
Right.
Harris
Yeah.
is your president in 2024.
Well,
stop.
she said before.
Oh,
And I thought about what you said, but she said this is going to happen before his term is up. So let's look at this. So one of the possibilities, as you've mentioned, is definitely Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. She is was the nominee, and she was nominated to the U.S. Circuit Judgeship for the District of Columbia Circuit, and most recent, Myra, as you mentioned. So she's done it, and she got support from some Republicans as well in her quest for this judge. California Supreme Court Justice Leandra Kruger is she is one of the youngest. She's 45 years old, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for youth and someone who's going to be on the court for a long while, because that's certainly what Donald Trump tried to do with Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh. The Supreme South Carolina U.S. District Court Judge Michelle Childs She was nominated by President Obama to the U.S. District Court back in 2010. She is the favorite of Congressman Jim Clyburn, and so he has been her greatest supporter. There's some other interesting ones here. Judge Wilhelmina Mimi Wright, a judge on the Minnesota Federal District Court, and she has been supported by Amy Klobuchar, the senator from Minnesota. Judge Eunice Lee, a former New York public defender, nominated by the president to be the Second Circuit on the recommendation of Chuck Schumer. And Judge Candace Jackson Akiwumi.
Which is just fun to say.
Yes. She is an alum of Chicago's Public Defender's Office, so she's seen some things. And she has, her name has come about. Leslie Abrams Gardner. Does that name ring a bell?
No, what was that?
She is a federal district court judge in Georgia. Leslie Abrams, before she became Gardner, is the sister.
I was waiting to hear a connection. Okay.
Yes,
A sister.
She's a real sister. She's a sister of Stacey Abrams, and so she is one of those. And then Cheryl Eiffel is a bit of a wild card because she has not served as a judge. But she has done a masterful job as the head of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund for the last 10 years. And she has already announced her retirement from that position. And she is a big, she has a big fan group in the progressives. And so she's a mighty force. And she too was related to another famous Black woman, and that was Kwyn Eiffel.
Kwyn Eiffel, okay.
Yeah. So those are our numbers, and of course we can't forget the forever First Lady Michelle Obama.
I was just about to say, can we stop with Michelle Obama already? First of all,
that's what she's saying too, Myra.
Like just stop it, y'all. She's done her time. She's done it. Pick another hero for Pete's sake. Let her and Barack go out there in the Hamptons or Martha's Vineyard and eat lobster rolls. Leave them alone. Stop trying to bring them back. Leave them alone.
She's saying that too. So hopefully between the two of you, the message will get across.
Yeah,
Steve, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yes, I do. 100% do. It can't be Cheryl Eiffel because there's no way you can put someone who has not been a judge in that seat. That's like having a president whose first elected position was president of the United States, and we saw how that went.
I was gonna say that happened though.
Right? Say what?
I was gonna say it happened though, but
yeah, exactly. But we didn't like the outcome, right? And I think politically that'd be a tough one for him to.
Well,
it's an easy headline. It's an easy headline
from her liberal standpoint. Definitely, it'll be very difficult.
Yeah. But hey, look to what Kwyn was kind of referencing before. It's finally time for him to do something he says he's going to do. This is a really easy one. I would be lying if I could tell you I knew the different records of these judges. I just know they all got vowels at the end of their names, and they all sound like they come from that DMX song. Leandra, Katanja, Lamina, Anita, Michelle, come on.
And I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
Absolutely. So.
Judge Ketanji has not only been the most recent person to go before the Senate and got support from Republicans, but she also served as a clerk on the staff of Stephen Breyer in her past. And they think that she has the same kind of judicial temperament. At least that's what they're looking for. And as I said earlier, he has been viewed as one who really likes to really bring the two sides together. And so people are kind of expecting that of her as well. So it'll be interesting. But first, Bryant's got to send that letter to the White House.
And they're reporting that even though there's no precedent, he will actually stay out to the end of this term before he retires. So he's still
that's the question.
That's the reports out that he's will, and that so they still have abortion, voting rights, all sorts of really important things before this court that he'll handle before retiring.
Yeah. So the way I heard it, Steve, was that the question is whether he will stay till the end of the term or if he will help the president in getting someone in before the Senate flips, as they predict that it will.
That's what I heard.
In the fall.
Yeah. Like You find a replacement for me, and I'm gone.
Oh,
And I
so
can go.
he can't name them and then have as soon as they're confirmed they have to go in.
Well, I mean, he can say that. He could say, but if you are looking at this from a political standpoint, it's not looking good for a Democratic majority in the Senate. And
I
so
understand.
in order to get somebody in who the president could get past, then
Got it.
you're going to need to get this done before November.
Well, I hope the reports that I heard were wrong because the reports I heard were that it was like that's what he was going to do, and so there must be some moving. But
Yeah,
I've been wrong before.
There's
I've
going to
been
be
wrong before.
but there's going to be some discussion that it has to be. I mean, Breyer he stood firm for a very long time. As soon as Biden said, I'm going to nominate a black woman, everybody's like, well, when you leaving, Stephen Breyer? And he really took offense to that, and so that kind
Retire
of died
Breyer.
down.
It did not help that his name rhymed with retire. I ain't gonna lie.
Retire Breyer.
It did not help. That's too easy.
So we'll see what happens. Today is January 26, 2022. 2 years ago today, Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi were in a helicopter crash, killing those on board. And today, honoring the anniversary of the deaths of Kobe and Gigi Bryant, and a sculptor had a statue of the two at the site where they were killed 2 years ago. And the artist is Dan Medina. He created a 160-pound bronze figure, pulled it up to the scene in Calabasas via a wagon. And so they say it's only a temporary piece, but he says that he's hoping the city will allow him to put up a larger, more life-size version permanently at the site.
Ew.
Yeah. Well, he's got the.
It's just me.
No, I don't know. I you know what I thought of? I thought of the Christ Redeemer statue in in Rio. I thought it was going to be that kind of size with a more permanent structure.
Is that where Christ died? I'm just to make sure. Is that where Christ
It
died?
may have been. It may have been. It could have been in Rio. Kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding.
I know I almost died in Rio, but that's just me, though.
Well, join the club.
I'm the only one that finds it morbid that you put a statue at the place where, like, on the mountain where the helicopter slammed into. And if it's just me, I'm fine. But
no, I mean,
conversation.
I thought it was a little unusual, but I didn't go to morbid.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe it's COVID.
Well, let me ask
Maybe
you.
It's COVID.
No, it's not.
I'm blaming everything on COVID tonight. So I'm gonna talk so much more recklessly than usual. It must be COVID.
If you are going to put it, where would you put it?
Well, I think there's already one outside of Staples.
That's what I was going to say. Right.
That's put outside of Staples or somewhere in his hometown, but not the place where he unexpectedly crashed into the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
And where his wife is in court now about pictures taken right there of her dead husband. Like, yeah.
And on the base of the statue are the names of all the victims of the helicopter crash. And he said, heroes come and go, but legends are forever. And they, of course, were on their way to Gigi's basketball game with other members of her team and their parents. And so we'll see. But do you all have memories of that day?
Oh, my gosh, yes. Oh, my gosh, yes.
Do you
It was
remember?
the day of the Grammys. It was the day of the Grammys. It was the Grammys were that day.
Everything revolves around music events.
No. It's just because it was.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You woke up thinking like, oh, it's gonna be all about music, and it's like what Kobe died, and in L.A. I mean,
that
it was
yeah.
I mean, it was to be in L.A. on January 26, 2020. It was felt everywhere. This sounds like a joke, but it's not a joke. The only moment in a city that I felt was more still and quiet was the day after Trump was elected on subways. Like you just felt nothing was going to go right. And that's the way it felt that day for Kobe in LA.
Now, as not a big sports fan, Kwyn, do you have any memories of that day or any thoughts about Kobe and his daughter?
Yeah, I was actually in the hair salon. I was getting my hair done. And I remember just like scrolling on Twitter and finding it out. And I think what really hurt me was the fact that Gigi died so young. And I
Hmm.
just kept thinking about just the fear that possibly ran through both of their minds
Yeah.
within that moment. And it's such a horrible, I mean, death is a horrible way to go in general. But I think the casualty of it on everybody. I don't know. It's something that I really look to the responses of lots of Black men in my life. Like my father was a huge basketball fan, and seeing my brother respond the way that he did. So it's definitely something really somber to reflect upon.
Yeah. Let's go to the what's really going on
Oh,
question of the day. A little bit lighter.
just real quick, I
Oh,
couldn't forget.
oh,
Someone sent me this as a keepsake
oh,
afterwards.
nice,
Yeah,
nice. Oh, for those who
yeah,
can't see, it's Sports Illustrated with
straight,
Kobe
yeah,
on the cover.
yeah.
Today's question of the day: a recent poll indicates that the way to the heart of a person is still through the stomach. The question is for all
Wow.
of you, what's the way to your heart? And I'll tell you about this poll. So that's the question is, what is the way to your heart? A recent poll of about 3,000 Americans reveals that almost three-quarters of them still believe the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. When asked if this applies to themselves, 70% of women and 75% of men agreed that good food can win them over. More than half admit good food can improve their mood. 48% say of their most treasured memories revolve around food.
Mm.
And then we talk about the level of foodies, as people call themselves, and things like that. Remembering great meals, and falling in love over food or good wine or whatever. But the question for you guys is, what is it that gets to your heart? If it's not food, is there something else? Is it good music? Is it all sexy hands? Or is it, whatever it is, Stephen Hill? What gets you?
It's a trick question right there, because unless your name is Shantae Moore, you can't get to my heart. So there's that.
There
Trick
you go.
question. However, if your name is Shantae Moore and you wearing a sleeveless turtleneck, then I may not see you for a week or so. We may have to be, we may sleeveless turtleneck on Shantae. Psh, what?
Mm.
That's the honest. That's
So
the
the
honest truth.
sleeveless turtleneck did
Oh
it for
my
you.
God. Oh my God. I'm probably telling too much, but we had a little kerfuffle a while ago, right? And so it's just like, we have a great way of going through it, but like sometimes you need separation before you come back together. And so we
Mm.
had a separation. She freaking put on a sleeveless turtleneck. I was like, you are not playing fair. You are not playing fair. So yes, Shantae Moore, sleeveless turtleneck. That is my answer.
Very nice. Very nice. Young Kwyn, what's the way to your heart?
I was just thinking, honestly, I am a huge word person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know just recently in my recent relationship with Ashley, I like the fact that she writes me letters, and like she'll send me like a really nice like text message in the morning, and like audio recordings. Like I know actions, to some people like action speaks louder than words, but like as wordsmith, like there's just something just beautiful about the melody that somebody can say when they're like professing their love to you and like everything else like that. So
God, I'm sorry. One question. You
Yeah.
said recent or current?
current.
Okay, you
Current.
said recent. I got scared. I got scared for a
No,
minute. Okay.
we're
Okay. No,
good.
Okay, we're good. We're good. We said recent. I kind of checked out. I was like, I don't know what she's saying after this. I got to get back to. Okay, go. I'm good.
No, in
Shout out
my
Ashley.
current
Shout out Ashley.
relationship, in my
All
current
right.
relationship.
All right. Woo!
Yeah, because I dated a chef.
It's the COVID. It's the
Yeah.
COVID.
It's COVID. It's the
Yeah.
COVID. It's the
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. Joy Route on YouTube says, "Good words win me over."
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Joy says, and a book. But I love food too, Joy says. Joy's got a lot of words, and I love it's like, okay, good words and a book. Yeah. I love
Right.
that. I love that. Myra, what about you?
I was thinking about this stimulating conversation and him saying, "Baby, I'll clean the kitchen." God
Yeah.
dang. Woo, that's a draw dropper. I'm right there. Tell you right now.
I used to think at 3:00 in the morning when my alarm went off, if someone were to say, "I got this,"
Okay.
don't worry about where you got to go right now. That would do it for me. But I really think a good sense of humor, a great sense of humor
Mhm.
really does it for me. And somebody with a good, kind heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way to my heart.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
Yeah.
but many words there.
Yes.
Integrity says
Yes.
TYO Dimples on
Look,
YouTube.
Mm.
Yes,
Looking
integrity
like
goes a
Sita.
very
let me say,
say what?
I met a
Her
guy. Oh,
avatar looks like Sita.
Yes, Myra.
I met I met a guy years ago, and he was coming to pick me up, and he said 7 o'clock, and I was like, okay, 7 o'clock. And at 7 o'clock, he was knocking on the hotel door, and I was almost like, what are you doing here at 7 o'clock? And then I realized that
Yeah.
I had been dating so many guys that 7 o'clock meant,
Hey,
7:45,
7:30.
8:12, and then he was really a stickler for time. And when I tell you, I had mad respect for that, because I was like, girl, I got to get off the phone. He actually gonna be here at 7 o'clock. Then I realized, but he was doing what he said he was
mm.
going to do,
And
and
was
I'm
he
like,
in all things when he said
pretty
something?
much, yeah,
He
yeah,
followed through on it.
mad respect for that.
Yeah.
Then I went, I've been dating a lot of slackers.
Okay.
Can we ask what happened?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
There's probably one point in time where he came early.
Ah!
Ah!
You know,
It's the COVID. It's
You
the
know,
COVID. It's the COVID.
I don't have COVID.
COVID.
I was gonna say I think this is different than my love language, because I feel
Mhm.
like words of affirmation when I was younger used to be my love language, but now acts of service is like one of my love languages. If you say, "Oh yeah, I got this," I'll go ahead and fill up the gas tank, or like I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. 'Cause I
And
think
it's
that it's a
taken
real
care
thing.
of, and you don't have to worry about it.
Wait, do you
Yeah.
know yours in order? Quinn, do you know your love language is in order?
No.
In
They do it in
no,
order?
right. No, what is it? Acts of services, acts
I know
of service,
words of
words,
affirmation,
gifts,
gifts. Uh,
physical touch.
oh, and then what was the fifth one?
There's a fifth one. All right, we'll come back to that. I'm
I
gonna
like
figure it out.
gifts. Travis
No,
Roughhouse Party Bus Ruffin on Facebook says submissiveness.
He's also the
That's
dude
the
who
way
literally
to
a
his
moment ago
heart.
said he's like, how did he get Shantae Moore? He must know her dad. He said that a minute ago.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I don't know why men like submissive women. That's ego.
Okay, I'm like,
Well,
no.
that's from two strong women.
Yeah, true.
No, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
And how submissive are there levels to your submissiveness? Because once
Where is the submission? How about that? Where?
oh wow, well there's a real
Well, that's going to
where,
call
like-
for a drink or
so is
something.
that in
Yeah.
is that in the car? Is that I don't know. Is
Because
that
if
in-
that's just in one location, then I'm like,
dungeon?
okay. But if that's like a whole type of,
Interesting.
no, thank you.
Janice Wade says the way to her heart is just listening to her on Facebook. She says that.
Mhm.
So
Ooh, Michelle said he might be single.
Mr. Submissiveness might be
Yes.
single. Well, I mean, every once in a while there will be a submissive woman, or at least a wannabe. But just listening to me, and for a lot of people, that goes a very long way.
Mhm.
Having somebody really listen and take what you're saying, and I think that's to your point too, Kwyn, in terms of the words and really tuning into someone.
Yeah, because I didn't mean everybody is very smooth with words. Like I've dated charismatic people, but I think somebody that can, like you said, absorb what it is that I'm saying and be able to either like repeat it back to me, so I know that I do feel listened and appreciated, but also that brings like honey, like with their words. Like Ashley is such a supportive person. I could be like, man, this happened at work, babe, whatever, and she'd be like, yeah, but it's gonna be okay, and I'd be like, oh, I feel better already. Like there's just some nights where I haven't been able to sleep, and I'm like, okay, can you tell me about your day? And she literally would tell me about her day, and I'd be like, oh wow, I feel so at peace right now. I'm like, okay, like, that's good. I feel at peace.
And that's something you won't get with the guy. You tell a guy about your day, and the guy will try to fix it. He'll try to make sure, baby, I love you. What can I do to make it better? No, I just need you to listen to me and tell me, nope. I got to try to fix it somehow. It's just
Yeah.
it's how we're built. So shout out
And
Ashley.
Stephen Hill, have you been able to maneuver that? Because you have a very sensitive soul in terms of your relationships and things like that. So have you been able to kind of work your way through being a problem solver as well as one who just listens to your partner?
It's going to sound so cliche, but men are from Mars, women are from Venus. When I read literally the first 2 chapters of that, it changed my entire life and how I approach people that I talk to who are of another gender. 100%. Like just the first 2 chapters of that book that I read it's sometime last century. I know that much.
Yeah, for sure.
But it talked like literally the first couple of things. It talked about like guys want to try to fix things, and then guys all they want to do is come home, have a break before the deluge, right? And that's something that evidently a lot of Venetians didn't understand. Venusians didn't understand. So it was So yes.
Here we go. Mr. Submissiveness, Travis Roughhouse, Party Bus Ruffin on Facebook says being submissive is your superpower, ladies.
So I'm going to back this up. a little bit. I'm going to back this up. It's not now. I think, and I may separate true submissiveness from, in some ways, some kind of play acting. Right? Know that your man wants a strong woman, but every once in a while likes to feel like the king of the jungle in a way that is outsized. It is. Yeah, I know, Kwyn. I know. I'm just telling you. This is the thing to which she refers. Right. This is exactly the action. And then what it is. But the challenge is you can't take that and run with it outside the house. Right. For a lot of folks, you can't take it outside. It's
it
truly
only
one of those.
It
stays inside. And once you realize that's something that if you're willing to do that for your other, that's just one of the things. And he or she should be willing to do that same thing for you, whatever that thing is. Right. Right, whether you want him to be sensitive,
like outside the shower, because that has to be a very limited little, and very clearly defined. Like, and submissiveness starts now.
Yes.
Tick tock. It's over. Okay.
Yes.
I think relationships are about compromise, and I don't believe in gender roles.
Joylyn Wright on Facebook says my grandmother describes it as a man needs to feel needed. Yes, for sure. For sure. And Michael Stallworth, right there with you, Stephen Hill, says exactly.
He agrees.
Says exactly.
Everybody's relationship is individual. Like there's nothing that works for everybody's relationship all the time.
There's no formula. There's the formulaic relationship. Nothing. Everybody's
whatever works
an individual.
For you. That's what
I
see.
Williams
when
says,
I read All About Love by Bell Hooks, it said something completely different in terms of romantic relationships, platonic relationships, familiar relationships, and like that whole like ego where it's like somebody has to be a king and somebody has to be this. It doesn't have to be like that. Like,
well, everybody can't be a king, but
yes, they can actually. In a relationship, I know it's kind of hard to perceive it. It's kind of like, wow, can everybody really get what they want? Can I really get what you want? And it's like, yes, like
maybe not at the same time, or if you're lucky, it can happen at the same time.
Okay, in that aspect, we can talk about that at the end of the day. But I think in terms
it takes a certain amount of maneuvering, but it can happen at the same time.
And somebody feeling like they have to be needed, that's connected to your purpose. If you feel as if like, in order your purpose relationship is only to fix me, then you like fixing people. And I'm not something to be fixed. I'm already whole. And if I'm already coming to this relationship whole, I'm only wanting you around so we could both be great together. So we could accentuate and accelerate together. I don't need you to come in and fix nothing. Like, I already got it. Like, I'm not looking for a fixer.
Hang on, Kwyn, before we lose Myra J.
I don't need no Bob the Builder man.
No. I was in a relationship, a long-term relationship, and he had a very serious issue about, he said, you don't need me. And I said, but I want you. And I would think that you should feel better about the fact that I want you as opposed to I need you. Because bottom line, I'm going to be okay if you're here or not. But the way I am and the way I'm going, I want you. I want us together. And for him to be honest, it was not. He wanted to feel
That's codependency.
needed. Yeah.
That's
Stephen Hill, we're
codependency.
going to give you the last word on this.
COVID. No,
Damn
no,
COVID.
Damn COVID. No. Look, I've seen many a relationship go down because the guy he wanted to feel needed, right?
Mhm.
As opposed to taking you're wanted, but there's something that's, and I know, Kwyn, you don't believe this, and I understand that, but there's a hard wiring to gender roles that predates humanity. Right? Unless you can tell me you never sweat when you get nervous about something, then that means you've been able to get above your instinct. If someone can sneak up behind you and you don't kind of feel it, then you've been able to get past your instinct. But you still have these things that were programmed into you before mammals were humans. And this is one of those things that because of intelligence and society you can get past, but the natural order feels like
Natural
happens more
order.
from the natural. Yeah, there's a natural order to this stuff. And order may be the wrong word. No,
as a social construct.
No. Not as a construct. That's my point. Not as a social construct.
That's why you froze.
Absolutely
Lord
not.
said
My
no.
point.
Mhm.
My point is it's not a social construct. It's not a social construct. Exactly the opposite.
What's not a social construct?
It is a. I'm not saying gender roles is social construct. I'm saying it's exactly not that. It is a physical form that has existed for hundreds of thousands of years that's encoded in our DNA, just like sweating when you're nervous, just like realizing somebody's behind you, right? These are the things that happen naturally that you have no control over.
We're going to have to talk about this over drinks.
We will have to talk about it over Papado or drinks or something after you get out of your COVID protocol, because my very aggressive producer is going to strangle me right now. We're going to move to the What You Need to Know newsletter. And she who is Kwyn has done a story about a Pennsylvania town that has repealed anti-discrimination laws. In the What You Need to Know newsletter, that is absolutely free, the subscription, Monday through Friday. Give us your name and your email address at sybilwilkes.com, and it's all yours. Kwyn, it is all yours.
All right, so this is what you all need to know. On Monday night, by a 7-3 vote in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, it became the first municipal authority in the Commonwealth to repeal an anti-discrimination protections for the LGBTQ community, veterans, and other protected classes such as ethnicities, racial demographics, and gender. The vote to rescind comes 4 months after the borough ratified the ordinance in October. Now that the council is majority conservative, some consider this as a muscle pull of power, saying that the political makeup of the council is now a 7-3 with a Republican majority lead. A few weeks ago, after the installation of these new members, the council revoked a measure that would have assembled a commission to oversee discrimination complaints, instead voting in favor of a measure to repeal this ordinance. Franklin County is predominantly Republican leading. However, there are residents who believe that there is a national strategy currently undergoing by the Republican Party to seize local control, somewhat like a grassroots effort. And so this is the first time an LGBTQ inclusive law has been revoked in Pennsylvania to date. Over 70 municipalities, including Gettysburg, Shippensburg, Carlisle, Camp Hill, and Harrisburg, have ratified such ordinances. Pennsylvania is only one of 27 states that have no state laws explicitly protecting people from discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity in employment, housing, and public accommodations.
So let me tell you what I get from all of this is that we are seeing a tremendous wave of conservatives, especially running for office, winning these positions, especially on the local level.
Yeah.
And so this is the time where I, get out my soapbox and remind you once again how important it is for us to be involved in our politics on the local level. Mm-hmm. This is where the things that affect us on a day-to-day basis. Fighting with Russia, that's a big deal, okay? But what your town is allowing and not allowing, and talking about what we're teaching our children in our classrooms, that's really, that hits us, not only in our town, but in our cities, in our states, and what have you. So once again, I'm going to tell you that this is the time, and especially this very important year, this is the time for us to make sure that we are registered to vote. If you have not registered to vote, please do it. And this is really important for those of us in the state of Texas. It's the timing is now. The midterm primary is going to take place on March 1st. That's the last day you'll be able to vote in the state of Texas in the primaries, okay? Which means the deadline to register to vote is next week, January 31st. Time is and it's going to keep flying, and we're going to have more and more states, and it's going to get jumbled up. And do it now. And if you say I'm registered, make sure, just confirm it, okay?
Make sure your people are registered too.
Exactly. All of those that are around you, and you know, as Tom and Myra and Jay used to say, you know, if you're going to live in my house, you're going to be registered to vote. If we're going to be doing, you know, if you're going to be working your way into my heart, you need to be registered to vote. Whatever it is, whatever line you have to have, let's make sure that we are, because the rules have changed, the laws have changed, and we have got to follow it, because we haven't been able to overcome it, and we got to follow it and make sure that everyone, if it's between 12:15 and 12:23, that you can vote on Tuesday, March 1st. Let's be there. Okay, so help me off my soapbox there, Stephen.
There you go. All right, there you go.
Thank you. Ooh, a little COVID weakness there.
I know his voice changed.
Show me your vaccine card and your voter registration card.
That's right.
And
That's right.
Your credit card, but the other two are very important as well.
We also talk in the newsletter about the federal trial that is underway for the Minneapolis cops who stood by while Derek Chauvin had his knee on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds on May 25th of 2020. This is their federal trial. They haven't even started the state trial. The state trial is what Derek Chauvin went through. He has already pled guilty to the civil rights charges. So he's done. He's done as far as any more trials are concerned. But these are the three cops that were there on the scene, and their names are Thomas Kane, J. Alexander King, and Tu Tao. And they are charged with depriving George Floyd of his constitutional rights while under government authority on May 25th. The former cops are charged with not providing George Floyd with medical care, and Tao and King also face an additional count for not stepping in to help George Floyd as Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck. They just started the trial this week, and they expect it to go 4 weeks. And this is a different kind of trial. First of all, it's federal, so it will not be televised. This trial will not be televised, as opposed to the state trial of Derek Chauvin. And it's a pretty white jury. They said 2 of the 18 people, the 12 jurors and the 6 alternates, 2 of them appear to be Asian, and the rest appear to be white people. And it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. What do you all think? Stephen Hill, you're already mulling it over. What you got?
Yeah, no. I'm. Here's the thing. I said this, and I remember I wasn't on the show after it happened. because after they pulled the jury for Ahmaud Arbery, and everybody was all, oh, there's no black people on them. Like, some things are so egregious, it doesn't matter. Like, we want black. I'm not saying we don't want it, but like, it doesn't matter. The fact it was all white jury, and I said it on this show, was like, it doesn't matter. They're going down. I feel the same way about this in Minneapolis. I do. I think that it's that egregious that, like, I would love for, I think it's messed up, but in Minneapolis, what do you expect? Like, for the jury to be, but I would love for it to have some diversity. It doesn't, but it does not make me concerned about the
and humanity is humanity. Humanity does not have a color.
Yes.
And I will agree with you on that. One interesting thing about this, they have pool reporters. Not everyone can be in the courtroom to do their reporting for their individual news agencies, but some of the pool reporters said even on the very first day, as they were showing video that we all know of them standing around and watching this happen as George Floyd was in the process of dying, there were people on the jury who were wiping their eyes. And that was just the first day. And so you know that day after day after day, there's going to be a lot of this. But it's going to be one for us to watch. And I said, we're going to watch it via news reports because we will not be able to follow it on a daily basis visually.
What are they being charged with, by the way? What are they being charged with?
So this is regarding the denying George Floyd of his constitutional rights. So the cops are charged with not providing George Floyd with medical care. When one of them could have, stopped it, they could have stepped in and if there was some breathing problems, perform, and because they were CPR trained policemen, and
so they had an obligation to do that. I want to make sure this is so then if they had an obligation to do it, then I stay with my point.
And they had also two of them, Tao and King, face additional count for not stepping in to help George Floyd as Derek Chauvin was kneeling on his neck.
Right, because I thought in the original report, I thought two of the police officers were trainees or had literally just started within the 2 weeks.
One was really fresh on the job, and another was not too far behind.
One of them did ask, like, shouldn't you get up, or should we get it?
And
he
that
asked
was
about it.
And that's what his lawyer said on that first day, Myra. He said he did ask, and he was just kind of pushed off, and saying you don't know what you're doing, or no, get out of here. We got this.
Right, because I have several police officer friends who said to me, as a trainee, after you've gone through all that training and you finally graduate and you finally pass, it's sort of like being in the military. You are following command. Because I was like, I said, well, couldn't they? He said they were following command. So I'm just wondering if one of those guys may get off, and because of that. He did ask, like, hey, should we be doing this?
And they said, but he was not persistent. And so, but did you say when you're following the command of your commanding officer, who in this case was Derek Chauvin?
Was there an obligation to be persistent? That feels really washed.
No,
did they kill Ahmaud Arbery? That's like cut and dried. So this one seems a bit more. I mean, you could have a whole bunch of.
It's a slippery slope.
It could be a really diverse jury, and the audit. The verdict could still come back. Kanye shrug.
So we will continue to watch this and talk about it. And it's the federal judge predicted that this case will take about 4 weeks. So we're already the first week in, and we'll see what happens. I also want to talk about something that we have moved to another day of the week, and that is our Black and Missing. And this week we are joining the Black and Missing Foundation in talking about Tiffany Foster. She's missing from Newman, Georgia. She was last seen in March of last year, 2021, Black female, and she's 36 years old. She was reported missing at her lakeside apartments in Newman, Georgia. I don't know where Newman is, Myra. Do you?
It's not that. It's like 30 miles, I think, south of here.
She was apparently was seen at the apartments, and her vehicle was located in Fulton County, and her personal belongings were still inside. So please, if you have any information, and you can go to the What You Need to Know newsletter and see the picture of this beautiful young woman and Tiffany Foster. And also, if you have any information, please contact Black and Missing Foundation website. This brought to mind because this is a story that just really hit me, and I've been harping on this. And this has to do with a young woman who was found dead in her own apartment in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Her family is now suing the city of Bridgeport, and Lauren Smith Fields was the young woman who died in her apartment while on a Bumble date with a white man. And he reported her death. The police came, and her family was trying to reach her. They went to her apartment, and there was a note on the door saying, if you hear about Lauren, call this number. And her superintendent, the super of the building, was the one who told her family that Lauren had died. They're still not getting any answers, and so they are suing the city of Bridgeport. But the mayor has said that there is going to be an investigation into this. The man they said that reported this, her Bumble date, reported this. They said he seemed like a nice guy. We talked to him. He seemed like a nice guy, and we weren't going any further in the investigation. But just too many questions, including the fact that the brother was talking to the police and to the detective on the case, and he told him, "Look, I don't have any information for you. Stop calling."
Yeah.
So this is, when you have cases like this, and once again, Gabby Petito just keeps running in my head because this was a worldwide search for this young woman. This young woman was also a bit of a star on Instagram and other social media, TikTok, I guess, and but she's not getting the same kind of respect and attention that Gabby got, and so, like the others that we've talked about, and like this young woman, Tiffany Foster, we want to get answers for their families.
Yeah.
All right. On a lighter note, let's move to entertainment, shall we?
Okie dokie.
This is for you, young Kwyn.
Okay.
Do you play Jeopardy?
No.
Okay, so the answer is, who is Amy Schneider?
Oh, the first trans woman who has been like a Jeopardy winner streak, highest winning streak, right?
Yes, she is the top female earner in the history, a historic winning streak, and her strategy was one that was noticed by many, and also being the first woman to represent the transgender community and on TV has been a highlight of her experience, she says, and just getting word that her run is over.
Oh.
But she said the best part of me is being on TV as my true self, expressing myself, representing the entire community of trans people, and just kind of showing a different thing than maybe some people have seen, or just being smart, confident woman and just doing something super normal, like being on Jeopardy.
Yeah. I don't even watch Jeopardy because I don't need to hurt my feelings like that. I could find something else better to do for 30 minutes than to sit up there and go, nope, I don't know that answer. I don't know that one either. How about don't know shit for 400? How about that?
I want to do Price is Right one day, or Family Feud.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so
I love
Family
Price is
Feud
Right.
would be great with your family, huh?
Yeah, it really. I think we will win that for sure.
My brother
And
was
would
actually
you-
on
would it-
Family Feud once, by the way.
Really?
My brother was actually on did Family Feud back in the Richard Dawson days with
Oh,
my
really?
cousin, with my cousins who lived out here. So it wasn't the immediate.
How
It was
did
like
they do?
it was
Yeah.
family. They lost.
Oh,
And
okay.
I ain't lost. I was not happy about that. But,
Did they get ripped off, or was it a legitimate loss?
lifetime supply of KFC and some Sunny D.
Which in your COVID state might not be a bad thing.
Not bad at that at all. Yes, indeed.
What game? Oh, so Kwyn says game show, Family Feud, and Price is Right. Myra, what about you?
What game show?
Yeah, is there one? Because I'm thinking you might be a good. Well, I will tell you what mine is, and you think about it. Password.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Password, and what's the other one? With the six usually comedians, and you had the
Match Game 73.
Thank you, Match Game.
That was
I
a fun
love,
game.
I love Match
Yep,
Game.
Quinn's
yeah.
eyebrows just went through her hairline.
She's
Yep.
Googling. She's Googling. She's
But
Googling.
it's
What the
a
hell is Match Game?
Match Game.
A Match Game out now.
And it is not a dating game. Dating Game was different than that, Quinn.
Yeah,
Match
that was
Game
matching
was not
was
dating
different.
game.
Yeah,
Dating
yeah.
Game and Newlywed Game.
Oh wow.
And what about Wheel of
Never.
Fortune? Anybody?
Oh yeah.
Anybody? No.
I was on
I would do it.
Sale of the Century. My brother was I was on Sale of the Century. I thought you knew that. I think you knew that, Sybil. You just forgot that.
I
I
forgot.
was on Sale of the Century in 1985.
So remind me what Sale of the Century was. Was
Sale
that
of the
like
Century
Jack
was
Cars or
you
something?
you answer questions and you get like $5, $10, and then the Sale of the Century is when they open it up and you can use your money to buy the meat smoker or keep your money because the person at the end of the game with the most money wins. Yo, I knew I wasn't coming back, so I was like, I bought everything I possibly could right? TV, Entertainment Center. I
That's
still
gotta be
almost
it.
won.
That's got to be in your life story in some play or some screen
I know
project you
Cameron and my older sister went to Universal Studios. We did Fear Factor, and they had to eat one of those like strange food combinations. It was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. You guys are like Fear Factor?
I don't, because I don't do bugs.
No.
I don't do bugs. I don't do reptile. Can't nothing be crawling on me.
You wouldn't eat like roaches and some milk and like.
No.
And you would do that? Why?
So you wouldn't be scared of anything.
For money.
I'm
For money.
scared of them. No, really.
Money.
I'm not trying to get over any fear.
No.
You wouldn't sit in a chair of snakes.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Gene Rayburn.
Shoes.
I'm sorry.
Snakes
Gene
with
Rayburn.
shoes.
Anthony Sanders was asking, was that Betty White's husband on Match Game? No. Betty White's husband was on Password.
Alan Ludden.
Alan Ludden. Match Game was Gene Rayburn, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Gene Rayburn.
Yeah. And Gene Rayburn, and I don't know why they thought this was so cool for a grown man to be having the long, thin microphone.
Yes. Yeah.
I never got. Do you remember that, Myra? It was like this wide, and it was okay. All right, Yolanda.
Yeah,
I know.
And it had, as you know, as people started writing down their answers, they would have wow, like porn, it's like porn music. So I've heard.
And Kwyn, they've done a more current version of that. Alec Baldwin was the host, and it was on ABC. It was part of those game shows they brought back. And there's a lot of alcohol, I hear, according to Sherry Shepherd. Surprise. All right. It's time for Yogi's Jewel. And thank you all so much for a great conversation. Really, I mean, a lot of our conversations will have to go on to the next time we meet. Change is inevitable. According to Yogi's Jewel, change is inevitable. Go with the flow of the universe for peace. So inhale change. Exhale, resistance. Get out of here, resistance. All right.
Get out of here.
Also, happy
sexy
birthday to
COVID
Angela Davis. Happy birthday, girl.
Well, she's in the newsletter. Her birthday. Yeah. She and Anita Baker.
All right.
Share a birthday.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Night, everybody.